Okay, we are officially recording. Welcome everybody to Training Tuesday. I am Peg Wilson, Star Director of Team Embrace, and we have members here from Moms That Rock, from what is it, Patty Fearless? What are you guys? I don't know.
Fierce and fearless. Fierce and fearless.
Fierce and fearless. We have Lauren. What's yours?
Team Hope.
Team Hope, and then we have Millionaire Minds, and we have Royal Believers, right?
Yes.
That's everybody that we have on here. I think all the teams that are here. Okay, so today's session is all about goal setting for 2021. So everybody have a paper and pen ready because we're going to do some work today. So there's lots of things that you can do for goal setting. So the basic things that you want to do to get yourself started this year is the first thing that I want everybody to do is, this is probably going to take you more time than your goal setting, but I want everybody to take an inventory. I want you to go and take an inventory of all the supplies that you have, because one of the things that you are going to need for your taxes is to make sure that you have an inventory of everything that you have in stock. So to start your year, you should know what you're starting out with. Okay, take an inventory of every single thing you have, every circle, every bar, every room spray, every warmer. Okay, so make sure that you keep a list, and that's what you're going to start your year out with. So that is your very first task of homework. Okay, now the next piece that we're going to talk about is setting your goals. When you set your goals, you're going to break your goals down. So I want you to set goals for each day. So when you get up every morning you get yourself a piece of paper, keep yourself a little book. I have a couple of different books that I use. I use there's a 2-minute journal that I use at the end of the day. There is a 5-minute journal that I use in the beginning of the day where I set my tasks for what they do. You can just keep yourself a good old piece of paper, a good old copybook. But every day when you start out, I want you to start out with what your goals are going to be for the day. If you break it down more simple, you'll be more likely to accomplish it. And every single day you want to feel, at the end of the day, you want to be able to say what you've accomplished that day, what you feel good about, what maybe you didn't accomplish, and what you want to work on. Okay, so start your day out every single day with what you want to accomplish for that day. So right now, I want you to think about tomorrow. Okay, what is one goal that you want to accomplish tomorrow? Break it down nice and simple. Anybody want to share a goal that they want to accomplish tomorrow? All right, Patty, come on. What do you want to accomplish tomorrow?
I have 2 new teammates that just signed up, so I want to get their Zoom calls done tomorrow, their initial training.
Okay.
And I also want to hit my goal that I do every day of trying to get like $75 in sales. That's my daily.
Okay, so Patty brought up a good point, and there's something that I want to share with you. So I know we have people on here who are all different levels, so I am going to do a little screen share here, and I'm going to show you how to break your goals down per day. Okay, here's a little screen share. This is what we're going to talk about. Okay, can everybody see this screen here?
Yes.
So what this screen is these are actually out of my team page, and these are your GWV goals. So I'm actually going to pull up the one for a lead. So for a lead, if you want to reach, you want to get paid a title. That should be everybody's goal all the time, is to get paid a title. So if you want to get paid a title as a lead consultant, these are the requirements that you need. You need to have $500 in sales. You need to have a GWV of 1,000, and you need to have 1 active frontline. So this is what your GWV has to be every single day for you to accomplish that by the end of the month. So everybody know how to calculate your GWV? Is there anybody who doesn't? Because I think everybody who's on here probably does. But everybody know how to calculate your GWV? If you don't be ashamed to say so. Everybody okay with that?
I don't.
Okay, so your GWV is when you're calculating your PRV. So your PRV is pretty much, it's almost dollar for dollar except for the licensed items and everything. So if you have 100 PRV, 75% of that goes into your GWV, which is your group wholesale volume. So if you take 75% of what your PRV is and what the PRV is of everybody on your team. Berlin, did you have anybody on your team?
Yes.
Okay, so if you added up all of your PRV between you and anybody on your team, and times it by 0.75. That is going to give you your GWV. So think of it in the terms of like the easiest way that I have to describe it is think of like $1. So if you have $1, 25 cents of that is going into your commission. So you're getting 25%. So you're getting your 25% commission. That other 75% is going into your GWV. And that's where
Okay.
you're going to get paid on your team. So these are the goals that you need to reach. And it's easier if you think of it in the terms of breaking it down daily. So if you break those things down daily and you're accomplishing it. So guess what? On the 5th of the month, if you don't have 166 GWV, you know how much more you have to accomplish the next day. If you start out on day 1 with 50 GWV, you're already ahead. So you're already one step ahead. So you know where you are. And if you're looking at a chart like this and you're being able to calculate it on a daily basis, it's easier to hit those goals and it's easier to feel accomplished. You want to make sure that every single day you feel like you've accomplished something, regardless of what that is. So that's one thing that you can do to make yourself at least get on track and feel like you're accomplishing something. Okay, now let me see how I don't know how to get this back so that I stop sharing the screen. We might just keep sharing screens because I don't know how to stop it. I don't know how to stop it, guys.
What about up top at view options? Does that do anything up at the top where it says you're viewing?
Show me thumbnails and stuff. I'm not sure what I'm doing here, but that's okay because I have a couple of other screens to share. So I'll just continue with, oh, I see where it is. There's a little button over here. Okay, but I have a couple of other screens that I want to share. And Callie's going to try and get in on us here. Okay, so okay, here is something else. So this is, somebody did this on the team, the director page, and I thought this was absolutely amazing. So I wanted to share it with you guys. So this is, she calls it GPS. So here's what her overall goal is. Her overall goal was to hit star director. Okay. Pick one goal that you want to accomplish this year. Write that down on your piece of paper. Whatever your end result is, you know, as far as your title is. I mean, maybe you're happy with the title that you are, but there's things that you want to do as far as improving your PRV. Whatever that is, put that down as your goal. And then what she does here is she breaks it down into 3 different categories. So there's priorities that she needs. This is her building her little roadmap to success. And you see up at the top here, look, she has beep, beep on my way. So this is cute that she's able to hang this up somewhere and be able to look at it. So here's the priorities that she has to accomplish that. She knows she has to be focused and she has to be consistent. She has to cultivate the upcoming leaders. She needs one more frontline director. And then she has to increase her numbers. She has to get to 500 PRV, 600 TWV, and 30,000 GWV in order to get there. So does everybody understand what the difference between TWV and GWV is? Raise your hand if you don't. It's okay. Berlinda, do you understand the difference
Yes.
between those two? Okay. All right. So, you know, once you hit director, that's when those numbers will start to change. You know, well, actually, when you hit star director is when those numbers start to change. When you're director, up until director, those numbers are exactly the same, your TWV and your GWV. So I hit star director in October, and that was the first time that I saw those numbers be different because I only get credit now for my frontline directors. So Lauren and Patty and Jamie, I lose their team. Their team branches off and they go onto their own TWV. So their numbers don't reflect in my TWV, but they do reflect in my GWV. Okay, so that's what she means there by increasing numbers. Now, underneath her S on her GPS is these are the strategies. So these are the things that she has to do for each of those priorities to break it down. So if you wrote down your goal, think of 3 things that you need to do to accomplish that goal. So go ahead, I'll give you a few minutes, write those things down. And you don't have to get into great detail, just high level as to what you need to accomplish those. So anybody willing to share their goal? All right, Lauren, go ahead.
You want me to go?
Yep, go ahead. We'll do Berlinda next.
Star director.
Okay, so then your priorities are probably very similar to what she has listed here.
Yep.
Right? Okay, so of each of those priorities, you can see that. And as a matter of fact, if you want, I'll tag in this so that you can actually look at hers and you can kind of
Yeah.
build from there. You know, they're the things that you know you've got to do.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, I'm going to tag you right now on this. This is old. This is from 3 years ago, but
Is it really?
yeah,
Oh yeah, I saw that 2017.
yeah. Yeah, so I'm going to tag you on this so that you can see. There you go. Lauren is tagged. Okay. Berlinda, how about you? So what's your goal?
This year's to be better at follow-up.
Better at follow-up. Okay. So how are you going to go about that? Like, what are 3 things that you need to do to be better at follow-up?
Work on myself for one thing, to get
Mhm.
their courage, to get on the phone and talk to them. I don't want to do Facebook and tagging and everything. I want to be personal.
Yeah. Yeah. So what's standing in your way of you doing that?
Confidence.
Confidence. Okay. Now it's funny because I actually was out on the Scentsy success page, and there is actually I'm here now. There is actually a workshop on building confidence. Here it goes. Be confident.
Okay.
So look this up. Be confident you. And Marlo does it. So Marlo is, the one who does all of our health stuff and all. So
Uh-huh.
she does it, and it talks about different ways to build your own confidence. So it's funny. It's funny that you said that, because that's something I was just looking at today.
Oh, cool.
Okay. So, all right. So then back to that. So, that's one of the things that you have to do. What are some of the other things you have to do?
Oh,
What's another priority that you need in order to do your customer follow-up better, besides working on yourself and your confidence?
Consistency.
Consistency. Okay.
Consistency. Yeah.
Okay. All right. And what else?
I only got 2. so
Okay.
far.
Do you have any systems in place to do your follow-up? I find that when I'm doing my customer follow-up, it's better if I say, okay, so every Friday I'm going to do my customer thank yous, or I'm going to do my follow-ups, and I'm going to check and see who got their orders and follow up with them. So it's a matter of having systems. That's really a big
Okay.
priority.
Because Sundays are my day to do Scentsy.
Okay.
That's my day, to do whatever needs to be done, straightening up, organizing it, labeling, whatever needs to be done. So I need to put in their follow-up.
Okay. So then what you need to do for your Sundays is you need to organize your Sundays. So you need to sit and get a piece of paper and write down the things that you need to accomplish every Sunday, and then write yourself down a task list of the things you're going to do, because that's really all about setting goals, and priorities is all about setting yourself up for success. We all talk about, we want to do this, we want to do that, but what are you actually doing to get yourself in the mind frame and to make sure that you have it? I know I do better when I got a checklist. So I make myself a list, and these are all the things that I have to do. And then as you're finishing them, check them off. It makes you feel good when you say, look at the things that I've accomplished today. Okay, I wanted to get X, Y, and Z done. So I didn't really get all of those done, but I got A, B, and C done. And then you'll feel better about what it is that you've accomplished. Okay, so that's part of the thing. Anybody else want to share one of their goals? Now everybody going to be quiet about their goals? All right, and that's okay. If you have private goals, that's fine. So now let's talk about the strategies for building your goals. So once you've got your goal set down and you know what you need to do, now your priorities, you might have more than 3 priorities. That's just the example that she's using here. You might have more than those, but that's what you want to do, is you want to sit and you want to break it down. So what do I need to do? And really evaluate what that priority is. Evaluate what you need to do that. Now, the last screen that I'm going to share here, I'm sure you've all seen this. You've all seen about SMART goals. Okay, so SMART goals are usually used by people in an HR setting. So they're usually using those when they want to, when they're trying to get people to build their goals for what they want to do within their business. I know my boss, we sit down all the time, we do SMART goals, and I always thought they were a pain in the butt until I started applying them to different parts of my life. So all of your goals, you have to be very specific with what your goal is. So your goal, Berlinda, is to follow up. Your goal, Lauren, is to get to star director. So when you sit down and you set that goal, so that might be one of them. You might have 10 goals. You might have 1 goal. So it's a matter of fitting them in there and saying what the goals are. And this is in your personal life as well as your business life. This doesn't just have to do with Scentsy. This has to do with, this is where I want to be. Here I am in January. Where do I want to be in December? So when you're setting your goals, set your daily goals so you know where you want to be. At the end of each month, where do you want to be each month? So the beginning of each month, say this is where I want to be in the beginning of the month, and see where you are at the end of the month. And then what are your goals for the year? So if you break it down and then you look at the big picture, and don't be afraid to dream. Don't be afraid to dream really, really big and say, this is where I want to be. Guess what? You might not get there, but so what? It's okay to have that big dream. I mean, every single incentive season, I sit there and I have my big dream and I say, okay, this is where I want to be. I want to earn the top level. I want to earn the top level. I don't always earn the top level, but I really only thought that this incentive season that I would earn level 2 and I earned level 3. I just wanted to be consistent with my numbers in the beginning of 2020. I just wanted to remain consistent and hit my director numbers. Wasn't expecting to hit star director. You know, but they're the things when you set those goals, surprise yourself, dream big. Yeah, I want to be a superstar director. That's where I want to be. That's my big goal. My big goal is to get there. Do I think I'm going to get there next year? Maybe not, but maybe I will. If I'm setting my goals and I'm looking forward to that and I'm doing the plan. You know, I was saying this in the meeting on Sunday and I kept screwing up the quote, but the quote is, if you have, oh God, Patty, do you remember what it was? I kept screwing it up. Oh, it was a dream.
A dream without a plan is just a wish.
A goal without a plan is just a dream. That's what it is. I forget that all the time. And I love it. I love it because it is true. It is true. We can all say, oh, this is where I want to be. This is where I want to be. I want to be a superstar director. Well, if I don't have any plan in place to make that happen, then I'm just dreaming. I actually have to have the steps set down to work towards that. So when you set your specific goals, make sure that you can measure the goal. Make sure you can say, okay, this is what I want to do. This is how I'm going to do it. How are you going to measure that goal? How are you going to say you have achieved that goal? Is it a title? So if you are saying, Berlinda, that you want customer follow-up, how are you going to measure that customer follow-up? Are you going to say, okay, I've done 5 customer follow-ups. Are you going to track it? I have a spreadsheet that I do with my customers. And when I do my follow-up, like when I send out thank you mail, or I have a little note section next to it. When I send out thank you mail, I will put their name. I'll put what it is that I sent them so that I'm not sending the same person samples over and over, you know, the same sample. You know, I go and I buy washer whiffs and I go and buy body samples. And I don't want to be sending the same exact sample to somebody over and over again. You want to make sure that you're sending different things. So I keep track of it. And then I keep track. If I haven't heard from them, I'll follow up with them and say, hey, how'd you like that sample I sent you? Did you like that scent? Did you not like that scent? So you have to be able to measure what the success is going to be. Okay. And then attainable. So you want your goals to be something that is something you can accomplish. You know, you want to push yourself and say, so say you say, I want to follow up with 10 customers. Maybe you only follow up with 5 customers this week, but maybe next week you push yourself and you follow up with 15 customers. You know, so you want to make sure that it's something you can actually accomplish. You know, I also would like to be a size 4 supermodel, but I really don't like sweating. So yeah, that's probably not a goal that I'm going to achieve because it's probably not going to be attainable if I'm really not going to do the work to make that happen. Size 4 probably isn't going to work with these childbirth and hips I was born with. So, you know, probably not going to work. But, you know, so you want to make sure that the goals that you set down are actually reasonable goals. They're something you can attain and not something that you're just dreaming of. I don't think I'm going to wind up in the swimsuit issue anytime soon. Just saying. So, okay. So you want to make sure that they're realistic. So that's your R and your SMART goals, and then timely. So timely is really important because you want to set a time frame on it. Again, saying, I want to be a star director. Well, yeah, I want to be a superstar director, but by when? By when? Set a time frame on it and set your goals to get you that time frame. Now, when your goals are something like that, like a promotion, it's not always up to you. And that's kind of hard when you're setting a goal and it's something that isn't necessarily in your control. In this business, us getting to the next level isn't really something that's in our control. It depends on a lot of other factors and it depends on a lot of other people. So you want to pad yourself. So you want to be a star director. Okay, well, being a star director with 19 people on your team, probably won't happen. So being a star director with 50 people on your team, it's a little bit harder to do. But if you keep building your team and building your team and building your team, and you have 200 people on your team, you've all of a sudden you've made those numbers more achievable, and it's easier for you to do. So your goals to get to that level is really going to be building your front line. Building your front line, working with your front line, making sure that your front line is getting certified, making sure that they're achieving their goals, you know, and like Patty did last month. Patty's entire focus was on getting people on her team promoted. And she did. She got people on her team promoted. She got new people on the team. She got them certified. You know, there were some, what, you have 2 that hit star, I believe? 2 that hit star. So,
Yes,
you know,
too.
and that's what you want to do. So you want to have your stretch goals, and you want to have your standard goals, but you have to make sure that you have those steps in place to do it. So everybody, on your piece of paper, do the GPS and put what your goals are, the steps that you're going to do to achieve them, are your priorities, whether you have 3, 5, 7, whatever it is that you want to do to achieve those goals. And then underneath those individual priorities, I want you to write the steps that you're actually going to do to achieve those. So you don't have to do this all tonight. This is going to be your homework for later on. Okay. So everything for your goals, I don't want it to be all about your business. You know, this business is definitely a business of personal growth. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen here, and we're going to go back to the full screen. Okay. Okay, so we're going back to the full screen. Okay, so all of your goals should not just be with your business. Set personal goals too. Each evening before you go to bed, and this is a personal challenge for me to you, I want you to do something 10 minutes a day. I want you to do something that is personal development. Now, whether your personal development has to do with meditating, whether it has to do with reading, it has to do with spending more time washing your face. I don't care what your personal is, but 10 minutes a day, I want you to, like Clarissa's like, yes, you know, but whatever it is, make sure that you set aside 10 minutes a day, at least, that is just for you. They're your mindful moments, whether you just close your eyes and you have 10 minutes to just do nothing and think about yourself, that's fine. So set that as a goal for yourself to set aside that time. And your 10 minutes a day could be your personal development, could be searching the workstation and looking for things that you need to learn. Our training center has so much valuable information, and it's information on personal growth, on business growth. There's just so much information that's out there. It's a shame that people don't take advantage of it more. Okay, so at the end of the day, at the end of every single day, I want you to do a couple of different things. I want you to write down 4 things at the end of the day. And this is where I have my little 2-minute journal. And this is what I do in my journal at the end of the day. So it really shouldn't take you a lot of time, but I want you to answer 4 questions for yourself. The first I want you to answer is, what did you learn today? Because every single day, if you're going to grow and you're going to change, you need to learn something new every day. I want you to give yourself credit for anything you accomplished that day. What did you get done? So if you have your list that you start out your morning, you should be able to say what it is that you've accomplished that day. And you should have several things that you've accomplished that day. I want you to feel proud. I want you to be able to toot your own horn and say what you accomplished. The third thing I want you to do is say, what can you do better tomorrow? So maybe there was something that didn't work, and there's something that you think that you can do better tomorrow. Okay, and then the last thing is, I want you to spend a moment on gratitude. What is it that you're grateful for? So if you end every single night with gratitude, you will wake up in the morning feeling better. And that's not a religious thing. It's a personal thing. It's a growth thing. It's about, you know, putting good vibes out into the universe and being thankful for what it is that you have. Even if you've had a completely shitty day, there's going to be something that you're grateful for at the end of the day. Look, I'm walking around with bruised ribs and a sprained ankle, and you know what I'm grateful for? That they weren't broken. That's what I'm grateful for. Hurt like hell, but I'm glad that they weren't broken. It hurt a whole lot more. Okay, So each day there's another task that you should be doing. So as you are doing your morning planning, every day I want you to write down your numbers. This is something that I didn't do for a really, really long time. And if you use any kind of a planner, any kind of a journal, every single morning, check your numbers and write down your numbers. It may not seem like anything super important right now, but each day your numbers change. You can only look at your monthly numbers, but those daily numbers, when you can go back and you can look year over year, month over month, you'll start to see the patterns, and you'll start to see when your customers are ordering from you, when your orders are coming through. Hi, handsome. You're going to start to see patterns with that. You're going to see when your more, your busier times of the month are. You're going to see which months are better for you and which months aren't. Is there anybody here who does that regularly? Patty does. Is she the only one? Yeah, Clarissa's like, yeah, sometimes. I do screenshots. I do screenshots of my team, especially when there's something big going on, like when an LTO is coming out. I'll do a screenshot of what we are before the release and then what it is after the release, so that I can say to the team, there goes Patty. Patty, show your list. You're on mute.
I actually have this on my computer. I found it on one of the director's pages or whatever, and it's just a daily number, like tally. So
Yeah.
I do write this down every morning. I can, give it to you if you want to. I print it out once a month, and it has 31 days. So you're able to actually look back and see exactly what days were better, what part of the month was better. So
I use this, and this was something that somebody had created too, that I just printed out a whole bunch of them. I don't even have it electronically, but the same type thing here. So you can see what it says at the top. I'll hold that there for just a minute so you guys can see what it says at the top. But this is what I use to keep me on track, and then here's my to-do list every day. I start out and do that, and I just printed out a whole bunch of these, and I keep them in a folder. And when I'm done with them, I'll get the numbers that I've put in here. I'll get them and record them in my journal. And when I'm done this stuff, sometimes I throw them away. Sometimes I keep them for a month. I just throw them in a folder. But that works really well for me. And then how many of you are tracking your annual sales and annual mentor? This is available on the workstation. So annual sales, everybody doesn't do a lot of annual sales. Annual sales is something that's a little bit more challenging. I mean, you have to average like $2,500 a month in order to hit the annual sales. But annual mentor, every single person can earn annual mentor. It's a matter of asking people and getting them certified. So make that a goal for yourself. They start in May. So May through April. Is it May through April? Yeah.
So fiscal year.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So May through April are the qualifying periods. And that's something that I issue a challenge to every single one of you. Focus on hitting that annual mentor. If you hit annual mentor, you get $25 for each person that you get certified. So you need 14 of them to hit it. But the more you get, the more money you get. I mean, you could have 30 and you get $25 for each one of them at the end. That's a nice little bonus check. That you get right before SFR is when they issue the checks. That's when they give out the annual mentor and annual sales. And you get a cute little trophy with it too. So don't forget the cute little trophy, that you can display on your shelf along with all of your collectible warmers that you earn. Okay. So actually that's all the stuff that I had prepared to talk about today. So how about if we do some goal sharing and do some goal building? So Lauren has shared hers, Belinda has shared hers. How about you, Clarissa? Give me one of your goals. Clarissa, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay.
Kind of in and out.
Sorry, my laptop is kind of weird, so I don't know if you guys can hear me or not.
Loud and clear.
Okay. Hi. Oh.
Hi. How you doing, handsome?
Okay, so my ultimate goal, my ultimate goal is at least director, but I'm starting lower to just hit star consultant right now.
Okay.
And I want to try to do that by like maybe next season. So like by August, hopefully before, but I was really close in October and November. And then, yeah, fell off. So.
Okay, so what do you need to do to get there?
Well, I know what I need to do is I got to get better with my consistency and follow-up because I'm very, very bad at that. So that's one thing. Also, sharing the opportunity more. I really liked how you showed us how to offer that $59 kit with parties. Like, even if I have I have one available just to offer that to someone. Because I've had a few more people interested. So sharing the opportunity more, and then helping those that do join hit their goals to, like, you know, keep building them up. So those are 3 of my things I've got right now. Can you mute that?
So I saw somebody else creating these a while ago, and I've had them for a while, and I just started doing them again. So I take a $100 bill, okay, and on the $100 bill, it says, okay, so I've started getting these and sending them out, and I put a little sticky note on it and say, keep this in your wallet and let me know when you want to make it real. So I just put a little sticky note on there and turn it into real money, and I tell them to keep it in their wallet. So people have no idea what I'm talking about. They have no idea what I do. So they'll contact me, or they'll be like, what was that $100 bill? They think they're getting $100 in Scentsy. So it's good because it piques their curiosity, you know, but I put it in and I send it with their order and just say, keep this in your wallet. And they'll look at it and they'll be like, what is this for? Oh, wait, am I going to get $100 in free Scentsy? Like, they're not really sure what it is. So I like to do that to pique their curiosity. And then once I got their curiosity gone, hold on, I think somebody trying to come in. Okay. So once I pique their curiosity, then I talk to them about the opportunity and how they can start earning money. So that's another tip that, you know, that might be something that just keeps the conversation going, because that's really what you want to do. You want to keep the conversation going.
What does it say on that? Like, you put it on
Yeah.
It says short on cash. I can help you turn this into real money. Call me today. And then it has my information. So, and then it just has my, you know, my name, independent Scentsy consultant, my name. And my So that's all. And, you know, and I saw somebody else I've had these for a long time. Look how old the books are. You know, but do it with your own $100 bill. Get a $100 bill and, you know, photocopy it and, you know, switch the logo on there. But I mean, this one's got, I don't even have the blank of it, or I could probably create one for you guys. If anybody wants one, I could probably create one for it, but do something clever. Do Monopoly money. Do Monopoly money, you know, go buy yourself $100 worth of Monopoly money. I'm sure the Amazon sells it, you know, and send them out to your customers. Get them and photocopy them, you know, put your information on there and send it out to your customers and say, keep this in your wallet and call me when you want to cash it in. They'll all be like, what? Oh, I'm going to get $100 of free Scentsy. And that opens up the ability for you to have the conversation, because they're going to be curious. They're going to be curious when you send them $100, because, you know, they're going to think that they're getting $100 in free Scentsy. But it's a good way to open that conversation. So that's another little recruiting goal. And it really, I mean, all of the goals, mostly all of us, if you want to do any kind of promotion, your goal has to be building a front line. It's got to be frontline focused. So anybody that wants a promotion, that has got to be your goal. It's got to be sponsoring. So high on your priority list has got to be sponsoring if your goal is to promote. And build your front line. And when you build your front line, you build it deep. You just keep going. You know, I mean, as your front line grows, you know, we've talked before about how one person can really make a big difference in your business. Okay, so Michelle, what's one of your goals?
Sorry, I'm on baby duty too, so
Yeah, I know, I can see.
pardon me. No, actually, samples, follow up, like, I'm really bad with like when I get an order, I don't like send out my thank yous like I'm supposed to. Um, I just can't seem to get myself like into a routine. That's what I really need to do. I need to just sit down and get myself into a routine. I'm actually in the process of moving everything, all my craft stuff, all my Scentsy things. We just moved one of my things down to the basement. I'm resetting my whole thing up in the basement. And so I've been working on that, trying to get that situated. So then that way I can actually go down there and like really like go full force with everything that I need. That's
Okay.
my biggest problem right now is like I don't send out the samples like I should. I don't send out the follow up. And I mean, I'll say thank you. Like I'll text them if I have their phone number, I'll call them and say thank you, or I'll text them and say thank you, or I'll thank them on Facebook and things like that. But I feel like I'm not like getting the personal
Right, right.
thing out there like I should.
Okay, so has everybody, this is something I do every year. Pick a word for the year. Anybody do that where they pick a word for the year? So my word this year is organized because that's where I'm lacking. That's what I really have to work on. I have to work on organization. So pick your word for the year and repeat it over and over and over. Every day, say your word. And it'll get into your head. Once it gets into your head, so Michelle, do you have business hours set aside?
Not particularly at the moment. With my job, sometimes I don't even know if I'm working. Like today turned out I was off. So then I was like trying to do housework and then I'm in the process of doing other things. And so I'm like, I'm trying to get my husband's always telling me, you need to set aside, you have to do this, you have to. So he's kind of like
So
my,
how far in advance do you know your schedule?
well, I'm supposed to be working every day from 11 to 4.
Mm-hmm.
But my cousin will call me since I work for family. She'll call me in the morning and sometimes tell me not to come in. And other times she'll just tell me to come in and do kind of like shopping and stuff like that. And I'm usually done by 5, by no later than 5. Usually between around 4 o'clock, I'm usually done.
Okay, so one of the things that I found, did anybody read the book Miracle Morning?
No,
No.
never heard of it.
Anybody? Okay, so Miracle Morning is really, it's a good book about setting yourself up for success each day. The basis of Miracle Morning is he tells you to get up an hour early. So you get up an hour earlier than you normally get up. And in that hour that you get up earlier, you spend 15 minutes of it working out. You feed your brain, you feed your soul, you feed your body, and that's really what Miracle Morning is about. It's spending that first hour not picking up your cell phone. I know the first thing that I do, I roll over and I reach for the cell phone. It's
horrible the same way.
And it is the biggest brain sucker. It really is a big brain sucker. So, oh, sorry. So Miracle Morning talks about spending that first hour of the day without your cell phone. Mel Robbins is big on that too. Mel Robbins said literally she charges her phone on the other side of the room. So she's not tempted to pick it up, and she mutes her phone so that it doesn't buzz. It doesn't, it's not dinging or ringing. It's not, her alarm's not on it. She gets it and charges it across the other side of the room. So it's not the first thing that she picked up, because it really is. I mean, you could get, we all know, you could get lost in the videos on Facebook and reading your friends' comments. You could just scroll all morning long. I have literally laid in bed for 2 hours just sitting reading Facebook. My mother will call me and say, like, aren't you not out of bed yet? And I'm like, oh, I've been awake for 2 hours. I'm just sitting here scrolling through Facebook. Biggest waste of time ever. So Miracle Morning is a good suggestion too, if you're somebody who does those kind of things. And it talks about getting up an hour early and doing these things. So think of the things that we just talked about today. If you got up an hour early and you spent your 10 to 15 minutes on personal development and you just take care of yourself, you spend 10 to 15 minutes exercising. 10 to 15 minutes a day can make a huge difference in your body. You think it doesn't, but if you do it consistently every single day, it will. You spend another 10 to 15 minutes sitting writing your plan for the day. What do you want to accomplish for the day? What do you want to do? There you go. There's your hour in the morning that you're getting up early and you're not taking time away from other things that you've had, but now you've got a plan for the day. And once you've got a plan for the day, then you've got a list to check off, and you've got a goal. You know, I'm sure, Michelle, you're getting up in the morning and it's like whatever needs to get done is what you're getting done. And then you go, oh, you know what? I got to clean the bathroom. Oh my God, this room's a mess. Let me straighten this room out. And then as you're straightening things up, you're carrying it to the other room. And then you notice something else that's not done in that room, and you do that. And you're like, oh, right, I went to throw laundry in, and let me throw laundry in. Oh, I forgot to put dinner on. Let me put dinner on. That's the way most of our lives are. We go from room to room to room, finding new things in each room that we went to put other stuff that was in a different room away. You know, I spend more time doing that, and I went to walking around and around and around and around and around, you know, you're chasing your tail. And at the end you go, you know, I came in this room to do something. What was it that I intended to do? And you got
I did that today. Today I'm like, I got to take something out for dinner. So I chased him into the other room. I'm like, can you just go grab something out of the freezer? I didn't take anything out yet. And it's 4:00 in the afternoon. And I'm like, oh.
Let's order a pizza, you know what I mean? And so that's it. I mean, think of it in terms of your entire life. You know, we'd all be much better if our lives were a little bit more organized. That's why organization is my word for this year. I'm going to be a little bit more organized. You know, last year, my whole plan, the entire last year, got thrown in my face because of COVID. You know, my plan was to do more vendor events. I was going to get out and meet more people. Universe has a sense of humor. But I found new ways to meet people, you know, and that's what you've got to do. You've got to find new ways to do it. If one doesn't work, okay, so check that off the list and find a different way, you know, to accomplish that goal. There's lots of different ways, you know, from point A to point B, there might be 10 different ways to get there. So if this direction doesn't work, try this direction. If that one doesn't work and you get shut down, skip 2 over and take the next road, you know, go all the way around. Always back to your goal. So always keep your eye on the prize, whatever it is your goal is, and multiple goals. Don't just have one, have multiple goals. And your personal goals and your business goals should kind of coincide with one another. You know, this business is my retirement plan. So this is my plan. I am 55 years old. Yes, 55 years old this year. And, you know, I've got goals. I want to retire at 62, and I want to retire and I want to be able to do this. I love doing this. This is my happy place. This is what really brings me joy. And I found out that I'm really good at it. I am really good at this. I know I'm good at this. I have fun doing it. So what better goal to have than to be able to do this and support myself? I can retire from my unfun job. Right now, the unfun job pays the bills, but this one is giving me lots of pocket change. You know, so income disclosure. But, you know, I mean, so set your goals and think about doing it. Think about getting up an hour early so that you can set those goals and you can set your priorities for the day. You know, so think of a big goal that you want for the end of 2020, and let's kind of do round table and say, I'll call you out as you're in my squares here, because I know on your squares, you're all in different squares. It's like Hollywood squares here. So start with you, Ruth. So what's a big goal that you want to accomplish by the end of the year?
So my goal is always to be director.
Okay.
But I never get there. And then my biggest goal this year is to make sure that I stay organized when I move.
Okay. Yeah, that's right. You have a move coming up.
I don't want to lose my Scentsy paperwork, or you know what I mean? Stuff for my taxes, my Scentsy order forms. I want to make sure that all that stuff stays organized when I move. So.
Mm-hmm. So first thing I'll tell you is you said your goals always be director, but you never get there. Change your words. Change your words. You haven't gotten there yet.
Yeah.
You know, because words are real big. Words are real big. My husband's grandmother, I go back to this all the time. My husband's grandmother died at 94. She was the most positive, upbeat person I ever met in my entire life. And one of the things that she would always say is, watch what you say. Your brain is listening. That's my signature line in work. That and I choose happy. I kind of go back and forth between the two of them. And, you know, and I mean, but that is something they're words to live by. Watch what you say because your brain is listening. So when you say stuff and you feed your brain negative words, it makes it happen because your brain believes it. Your brain believes it's never going to happen. It's never going to happen. You have to believe it yourself. Berlinda, give me a big goal.
Debt free.
Debt free. I like it. I like it. So then you have to build your plan. Build your plan.
Yes.
You want to get debt free. And by being debt free, maybe it's building your PRV, getting more commission, you know, building your team so that you're promoting, but all of those things. And the ultimate goal is director. The ultimate goal is debt free. So, you know, build everything towards that. And the other things are tiny steps towards that ultimate goal. Doesn't have to be the goal for this year, but you know, it's the goal. How about you, Clarissa? What's the big goal?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, good. So mine is to try, like you, I want to make this my full time because it's fun. It's something I enjoy doing. I hate the annoying job that pays the bills. To be like stay at home. I want to be at home with my kids. Like I've missed out on so much to my kids, you know, being a working mom. It's rough. I've missed a lot of firsts, and that's my ultimate goal.
Okay, so
So now
since
I just
that's
got
your
to put
ultimate
these
goal,
into action.
well,
get-
what you have to do,
Yes.
you have to want it so bad, it's like breathing. You have to want it so bad. And everything you do has to be towards that goal. You know, your kids are getting older. You know, they're growing up right before your eyes. Guess what? Time's a wasting. And approach that as if you're drowning and you need the air. So approach that goal and don't let anything get in your way. Guess what? If you have to get to outside your comfort zone, were you on the call when I was talking about approaching the lady in the red dress?
I watched it
Okay, so
and
you
I
know what?
thought that
Think
was
about
a
that.
really funny thing. I watched that one afterwards. I didn't get to get on live with you guys, but I was like, that's a really good idea. So
It's
I think
stupid.
I'm gonna start doing that. I'm like, hey, I'm gonna talk to somebody wearing a hat or a blue shirt or leopard print. You know, leopard print's popular. So I think
Right.
I'm gonna do that.
Yeah, and that's it. I mean, you know, when you get outside your comfort zone, and this is for you too, Berlinda, the more you do that, the easier it'll be. It really does get easier. And I mean, you know, sometimes it's really hard because I'm such an outgoing person, and I do get anxiety about certain things. But sometimes, like my husband is very quiet. My husband will be like, "How do you just talk to strangers?" And I'm just like, "Well, you just open your mouth and say words. What do you mean?" You know. So sometimes I can't relate to people who say it's really hard for me to talk to people. I'm like, "Just open your mouth, the words come out." You know. I mean, I have a problem with silence. In case you hadn't noticed, when there's silence, I need to fill it. I need to fill it. You know, my mother's the same way. Like we can't stand silence. So between the two of us, we're like, you know, it's like, you know, we'll make a sick ping pong ball watching us talk, you know, going back and forth. But you know, it's just a matter of challenging yourself, and whatever it is your goal is, and whatever it is that makes you uncomfortable, own what makes you uncomfortable. But that's where the growth is. The growth is by finding what makes you uncomfortable and addressing it and doing something about it. You know, it's like I'm afraid of heights. You know, look down over the balcony and keep looking down over the balcony until it gets easy to look down over the balcony. You know, Patty's going, I'm right there with you, Patty. I'm terrified of roller coasters. But what I use this analogy all the time with Katie, and Katie will say, well, you're afraid of spiders and you're afraid of roller coasters. And I go, yeah, but me challenge myself to get on a roller coaster is not going to get me anywhere other than the fact that I've gotten on a roller coaster. Challenging myself to talk to the lady in the red dress is going to get me more business, right? So this is the way I justify it in my head. Challenging myself to let a spider crawl on me, not going to get me anywhere. It might give me a damn heart attack, but it's not going to accomplish anything in my life. So the challenges that you do and the things that you're uncomfortable with, make sure that there's actually an ultimate goal, that there's going to be some reward for you pushing yourself in that level. You know, if you have too much anxiety to talk to people and it's going to give you a heart attack, maybe that's not the thing you want to work on first. So think of that. Okay, Patty, what's your big goal?
My big goal is to grow my team to 100 people by the end of like December.
It's doable. It is totally
Well,
doable.
I know it's doable. I'm
Yep.
looking for at least 50 frontline, and then I want the team to obtain 50. So I'm taking 50 on personally,
Okay.
but we'll see. I know I can do
You know
it.
what? I'll tell you, guess what? If you just focus on that goal yourself, the 100's going to come. Because if you have 50 frontline, you're going to have 200. down
That's,
line.
well, that's pretty much what I'm thinking, you know, as long as I keep working with them for their promotions, what I've learned in December was it motivates them to want more people to get further. So I kind of have this whole little system in my head, and I know it's going to be successful.
Yeah, and it's knowing your people. It really is. It's knowing your people and knowing who needs what. There are some people that just need to hear from you every day, and there's some people that don't want to be bothered, you know, and it's a matter of knowing your people and knowing what they need and giving them, you know, it's what's their currency. You know, I used to do that with my kids all the time. I knew which one I needed to do what with. Beth, all I had to do was threaten Beth that I would embarrass her. That's it. All I had to do was threaten to embarrass her. That was her currency. I knew what her currency was, and I knew how to get her to do what she had to do because I was going to embarrass her. I'm that mom that would show up in tube top and hot pants, you know. And
Well, common sense, like, and I guess I don't have any because I just really realized this last month was obviously the more people you have on your team, the easier it is for you to promote and obtain those numbers. Like my little team has done amazing with directors' numbers, but it's stressful. Like I'm constantly pushing them and they do great,
yeah,
but it's still, I mean, to reach, what is it, like 13,000, right?
Yeah.
It's like sales, right? With
13,334 it actually is.
with 18 people
Yeah,
is not easy.
it's not easy.
So the bigger the team, the less stress on everyone, you know?
Well, Patty,
So.
making director with 19 people is not easy. So you've accomplished the things that are not easy, which just proves that you can accomplish much more. So, you know, I made director at 17.
I think I
had
need,
no idea it was amazing. I was like, really?
right. I think I need less not easy in my life. Like that's my,
Well, and that's really it. If you build your front line, that gets easier. Accomplishing your numbers gets easier. I mean, you know, this month I really didn't know if we were going to make star director numbers, and I've got 3-month consistency. Whoop whoop, you know, and I mean, it's because the team is doing it, you know, and that's where it's hard. It's hard when those goals are outside of what you can actually control. So think of those things. And when I talked about building your SMART goals, how you're going to measure them and how they're attainable, some of those things are outside your control. So like with Lauren's goal, you know, it's not up to her she can motivate all she wants. There's lots of times, you know, I have lots of hobbyists in my front line. So I could be the biggest motivator. I'm positive Peg, but I can't make them sell more. You know, if they're in it for just their free Scentsy and meeting their minimum numbers, I'm not going to make them work harder, you know, to meet my numbers. And that's what you
no,
have to do.
absolutely. I mean, I have that too. I even have a couple with my little team that are just, they either do nothing at all or they are, you know, and that's great. I encourage them to do that. Like if their goal is 200 a month, then let's get that done, you know,
That's right.
because I think they're just as important as anyone that's making 2,000 a month.
Yeah.
So I don't want them to feel lost in that comparison thing. I want them to feel,
Right.
look, if I have 50 people that do 2,000, I'm golden.
Yeah.
I mean, that do 200, I'm sorry.
200, right,
I'm
right.
golden.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. And that's
that's
it.
kind of what's in my thought
Think of that
too.
in the big scheme. Like the more people you have, it's the scale, you know, I mean, that's it. It's the, what is it? What do they call it? I'll tell you, brain just, you know, I don't know. It's the scale of numbers. The more people you have, the easier it is to accomplish that goal. So you have to think of it that way too, and really grow in your front line. Sponsoring. If you're looking to promote, you're looking to do well in this business, sponsoring. We have lots of training that is going to be coming up in the next couple of weeks, where we're going to focus on little things. We broke down the business. We all the directors got together, and for those of you who don't know, do you know that we named our director group the Sunflower Crew? Did you guys all know that? So
Yes.
we named ourselves the Sunflower Crew after that little meme that says, you know, on a cloudy day, you know, on a sunny day, you face the sun. On a cloudy day, we face one another and draw strength from one another, because we found that that's actually what we were doing. We were doing it. And then I found that little meme and I'm like, oh my God, look, we're sunflowers. So we named ourselves the Sunflower Crew just for that reason. So we can't wait to get more sunflowers. We would like an entire field of sunflowers. So we welcome you all to join the sunflowers. So, you know, work your business and you'll get there. But we sat and worked out a calendar for, the next couple of months on the things that we really wanted to target on. Patty's going to be doing a Scentsy Club next week. What do we have after that? Lauren, you're doing the next one. What was the next one? It was Scentsy Club.
Count tab, and I think warmer and scent of the month.
Yeah, so we're doing your account tab, how to update your About Me page. Then we're going to do a recap of the world tour. And then we have Sarah doing paid at title and breaking down the compensation plan, because I know, do you guys use this like your Bible? You should use this like your Bible and reference it all the time. So the compensation plan is in here. The compensation plan is in your catalog. It is in the center section. The center section here. You should all understand this chart and know it. And that's something that Sarah is going to go over with everybody. So we have lots of stuff coming that will hopefully help you accomplish your goals. So let's move on. Mandy, what's one of your big goals?
To network and actually, I've lived in Oklahoma now for about a year. I moved from Florida. My husband took a job in Oklahoma, and we've pretty much been homebound. So I'm going to get myself out of the house, and I'm going to meet people, and obviously safely, but network and make some new, add to my current, because a lot of my close friends are either in Canada or in Florida. So I need to find some Oklahoma people.
Well, look, the joy of this business is the fact that we can do it from home. So there's lots of ways you can network on social media as well. Don't be afraid. Patty and I were talking about this just last week about joining groups. Patty had some great ideas about different groups that you join, and like I have 3 dogs. So I'm in a German Shepherd group, and every opportunity I get, I take a picture of my dogs with our Pet Fresh and show everybody how my dogs smell good because I use Scentsy pet deodorizer, So, I mean, a lot of those groups you can't advertise in, but you sure can talk about what it is that you use. So there's some networking that you can do, right on social media.
Okay.
Yeah, so think about doing that. Like, think of things that you enjoy. Do you enjoy crocheting? Join a crochet group. You enjoy cooking? Join a cooking group. And talk about different things. So when you're on the cooking group, you talk about how, oh, look, I just cleaned my counter and I cleaned all my dirty dishes from cooking with our dish soap, and you can work those things in there. Show the meal with the Scentsy behind it,
Exactly.
And look, it's made this stuck-on mess, and thank God for Scentsy dish soap that got this soaked-on mess out of here. So,
absolutely.
There's some ways that you can network, while this is all going on. Just find a new way to do it, and look, if you have challenges, ask questions. Ask questions. That's what our team pages are for. That's what we want people to do. Network within the team page and talk about different ways that you want to accomplish those goals and how other people can help you do that.
Absolutely.
So maybe.
So that's what I want to network a little more.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. So good goal. Good goal. I love it. So start working on some plans on how you do that. I think the only person that we haven't touched on is Dijon. Everybody else, I think, gave me a goal. Dijon, give us a big goal, girl.
Well, my goal is to hit SD.
There you go. You got it. And you can do it. You and Lauren,
catch up to you.
you and Lauren are gonna hold hands. Hey, look, I didn't even know I was getting here. So, it was a surprise to me. I was like, oh my God, I think I get hit our director numbers. Wasn't my goal this year. My goal this year was to just stay consistent at director. So surprise goal, So
well, my goal is to hit SD. Obviously recruiting is going to be a big part of that. So I'm really excited to get that going, and hopefully I can get some of my downline and getting them recruiting. Matter of fact, I just had one randomly join one of my downlines last night. So
woo-woo! Love it. Love it. So they're always nice. They're always nice, those little surprise random joins. So I love it. So, okay. So, we'll end here because we are at our hour and I'm trying to be respectful of everybody's time. I could talk for 4 and 5 hours, but I want to keep our little Zoom meetings to an hour. I know Patty's going, no, I don't know what you're talking about. Patty and I get on the phone and then we look down and we're like, we've been on the phone for 3 hours, Yeah, we keep doing that, and we talk about everything you could possibly imagine, not even always business. Sometimes it starts with business, sometimes it doesn't, but that's the way it is. But I'm trying to be respectful now, so we're better with this. All right, so anybody have any questions about goal setting? Everybody
Just
excited?
just doing it.
All right. And that's it. And I'm holding you all accountable. I can see all of your pictures and I'm going to watch this back and I'm going to hold you all accountable. I'm going to follow up with you in a month and I'm going to say, how are you doing on your goal? All right.
Okay.
Patty, just so you know, I'll be late again. I'm sorry. Just so you're aware ahead of time.
That's quite all right. That is quite all right. That's all right. You know, those who show up, go up.
Yep,
And
exactly.
we're
Eventually I'll
recording
get there.
because some people have different schedules. Like, you know, I mean, Jamie works every night. So Jamie can't ever be on them. You know, I feel bad that she can't ever be on them and you guys don't get to see her face, but you know, we all have different crazy schedules and we got to do what we got to do. So that's why we're recording them so that it makes it available to everybody. And I'll keep sharing them. We're trying to build the content on our YouTube channel. Make sure that you subscribe to the YouTube channel. We're going to try and put these trainings on Sarah's YouTube channel, but I'll share them on mine as well. And I'll share the links. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you all. Have a wonderful
you.
night. Happy Tuesday.
All righty.
Bye,
Thank
everybody.
you.
All right.
Good night.
Night.